With looking ahead at our key contracts that we'd like to address, we'll be all in. I would anticipate we'll be all in.
Okay, so that was Jerry Jones' last offseason. He was anticipating they were going to be all in. And since then, the Cowboys went 7-10. They missed the playoffs for the first time in 4 years. And then they watched their division rival and the Eagles win the Super Bowl. Not great, but that didn't stop Dallas from talking. Take a listen to this now.
I feel like we compete with the Eagles and beat them for the most part when we've played them. I don't want to say check the record when they're the guys holding the trophy right now. So credit to them. They've earned it and they deserved it by all means. But, yeah, very close, especially when you even watch the NFC game, the NFC Championship. And those two teams that we battle against each and every year a couple of times. And, as I said, feel confident about we've gotten the better part each and every time. To see it in such a dominating fashion, credit to them. It's our turn and it's on us.
All right, just to point out, the Eagles did beat the Cowboys twice this year by a combined score of 75-13. Nonetheless, Kmart, we're going to focus in on which comment was worse. Was it Jerry Jones saying prior to the season started, we're going to go all in? We know how that turned out. Yeah, or Dak Prescott saying yesterday, we're very close to the Eagles.
Well, Jeff was with me earlier this morning. I'm on record as saying I didn't like the Dak comments only because read the room a little bit. However, the worst comment of the two is Jerry Jones saying we're all in, because Jerry set the expectation for what we thought we were going to see, which is a team all in, a team that understood the division they play in, who understood how the competitors, how the opposing teams in that division operate and conduct business, especially Howie Roseman, retooling every season. And we thought that Jerry Jones would take a real look at his roster, identify holes, hit free agency and say, I have a good team, but I can make it better if I do something I've never done before, which is spend money in free agency. He didn't do that. And then I thought, okay, Jerry will, tackle the draft. He'll get Dak and CD signed up and, for years to come. That happened day one of the NFL season. All of that, he set the standard for why we are asking Dak now, hey, so where do you think your team is? Dak is answering questions that, frankly, Jerry Jones should be answering, because everything about this team, all the deficiencies, fall at Jerry Jones' feet.
Mm-hmm. Good point. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I would agree. I agree with Jerry, and the way that you put it, I couldn't agree more. I think when you think of Dak's response, he is 9-4 against the Eagles. The difference for Dak, he doesn't realize, is it's not just about beating the Eagles in the regular season. It's about playoffs. And that's what Jerry made clear when it was the Mike McCarthy conversation. When Jerry said, I'm all in, but wouldn't pay Derrick Henry $8 million a year or whatever the number was, give me a break, right? Like, you are not all in. When you look at the roster and the deficiencies on the roster that we all were making noise about going into the season, and you're saying I'm all in, and you wait until day one of the season to sign your quarterback to a long-term deal, and CD wasn't much before that. You know Micah's right around the corner. He did not put his money where his mouth was. So when I look at this, if he was just going to get his team done, okay, say that. Say I'm not going to go. But you knew lining up, you weren't, and you watch Howie Roseman move chess pieces around to continue to add to his roster, and that you don't match that and don't spend the money. I think in the last 3 or 4 years, they're 26th or lower in free agent spending. That is not all in. I don't care how you cut it or want to phrase it. That's not all in.
Well, it's true what y'all saying as it pertains to Jerry Jones and how foolish his comments were. Inconsistent, hypocritical, whatever word you want to do that you find appropriate. I would tell you, however, that Dak Prescott's comments are worse, because with Jerry Jones, I have to take into account how he has, is slippage, and I'm worried about what I've seen from him this year in terms of some of the comments that he has made. But nevertheless, his stubborn, egotistical self has found himself in a precarious spot, considering how the Cowboys look right now and how they've gone from Mike McCarthy to Brian Schottenheimer, who nobody wanted, but Jerry Jones elevates him to the head coaching job. Fair enough. It doesn't compare to Dak Prescott, and I'm going to tell y'all why. He's the starting quarterback. He's been the starting quarterback for 9 years. And in those 9 years, he has watched a second-round pick go to 2 Super Bowls and just win a Super Bowl title, and a rookie get to an NFC championship game before he has. and he's been there 9 years. He's approaching his 10th season. I'm sorry, we ain't letting that go. The fact of the matter is that he's the one out in the field, and we can look at the Dallas Cowboys right now based off of this season, Jeff Saturday, and we could say that. We could do that, Kimberly. But you know what we can't do? We can't ignore the back-to-back 12-5 seasons, where the Dallas Cowboys had some expectations to win at least a couple of playoff games.
Yeah.
I mean, show up at a damn conference championship game. Could you make an appearance? I mean, you don't have to win. I mean, I got to the point, let me stop talking about Super Bowl. Could you make a championship appearance, please? It's been 29 years. I mean, could you do that? Could you make the Final Four of the National, forget the Super Bowl championship. Could you make the Final Four of the NFL? Could you do that once? They ain't done it in damn near 30 years. I mean, come on now. And this quarterback, always looks polished, always saying the right thing, just a paragon of virtue for crying out loud. I don't know whether to call him the Pope or Gandhi. I don't know what to come up with next when it comes to Dak Prescott. But I'll tell you this much, what we not going to call him is a winner. We ain't going to call him that because come postseason time, it hasn't happened. Jalen Hurts has as many Super Bowl appearances as Dak Prescott has playoff wins. So, Kimberly, you can look at me like that, you can fold your arms, and I don't blame you. You understand? Because you're such a sweetheart, and you're such a nice person, and you just look at Dak Prescott, and you want to just think the best of him. Mr. Blue Eyes yourself, I know how you are. That's one of your brethren right there. You're starred in the National Football League. You blocked for champions, okay? See, that's where you get yourself hurt, because you blocked for champions. You covered champions. You protected champions, which means you know when you're dealing with someone who ain't. The fact of the matter is, respectfully, because I know Dak Prescott is no scrub. In all seriousness, I know the brother can ball. But that's what y'all are missing, Kimberly. That's what makes it worse. He can ball. He ain't some scrub. He ain't somebody that's going to nosedive and just can't. I mean, he's not a scrub. He can ball, except when the big moment arrives in the postseason, and then all of a sudden it's an APB out for him.
This is what's wrong.
Come on now.
You're letting your allegiance to Jerry Jones and being on the chopper and being on the yacht. This is where
I haven't been on the yacht yet. I haven't been on the yacht yet. I'm working on it.
That's why you're talking about Dak right now. That's why you're talking about Dak right now. You'll get on that yacht.
I'm going to get on that yacht.
Stephen, I get you because I was critical earlier today of Dak's comment because it sounds delusional at this point. However, looking at if Jerry Jones is going to be the owner and GM, you cannot let Howie Roseman out-talk you at every single step. Howie Roseman said, hey, you know what I'm going to take from my rival, the Giants? Their best player. I'm going to add it to the stash of great players